This is a great honor for every fan of the Dallas Cowboys. I'm honored to be in the NFL.
What can I say? Mamba out.
Well, all right, everybody. It's your boy Jay McLovin here on the afternoon show on a cold 65 degrees in Houston with a light 30-mile-per-hour wind. Tony, I went outside. I grabbed the dog because I thought he was going to float down the street. How you doing, brother?
Doing good. We're kind of like you, but we're a little chilly. We're about 55 degrees with about a 25, 30-mile wind. So we're a little chillier than you guys are. Now, of course, Indiana, you never know. It could be 80 one day and 42 the next. So that's just the way things go here. Well, Jay, a big World Series game last night, and Toronto stepped up big time, defeating the Dodgers 6-2. Toronto had 11 hits. Bieber did a good job. Didn't know he got his 5 innings in and only gave up 1 run and 4 hits. And Toronto's bullpen pitched well. I think they gave up 1 run in the last inning when the game was kind of out of hand, 6-1. So they gave up another run, made it 6-2. But the Dodgers struggled, only 6 hits. Ohtani pitched 6 innings, give up 4 runs on 6 hits, and the Dodgers bullpen after that struggled. So interesting series, 2-2. We're at least going to go 6. I wouldn't be surprised if we go 7. Toronto's got home field advantage back. They play the Dodgers at LA tonight. Then they have a night off on Thursday, and then back home for Friday and possibly Saturday. So, Jay, what are you thinking about last night's game?
Yeah, what a turnaround of events. You know, I told you I was wondering off that 18 inning overtime game if who was going to come out the better end of it the following. And I really thought it was going to be LA. I felt like, you know, they're playing in LA, quick ride to the house, you know, and they didn't have to use as many pitches. I really felt like they were going to be the one. And this is Ohtani, and Ohtani was pitching this game too. So I really kind of felt like this was going to be the one that had him in the bag. That was not the case, though. Toronto had different ideas. Guerrero and company had different ideas. The pitching had different ideas. Like you said, Bieber. I mean, like I told you, I said they needed at least 6 innings out of Bieber, and they got 5.1, which is close. It's close. You know, he gave up 4 hits, a run, 3 walks, 3 strikeouts. I mean, a modest stat line. But again, it's a modest stat line against a really damn good team. So that speaks a lot for Bieber. And then, you know, of course, the bullpen did great. Flaherty didn't give up anything. Bassett didn't give up any runs. Varland did give up 1, but at that point, it was like, who cares? I mean, the game was well in hand. So that 1 run really wasn't a big difference maker. But, man, what a game by Toronto. I got to tip my hat to them because I felt like this was going to be the game I thought that was going to take them out of it. And I felt like, you know, they were just going to go into tonight's game and just wrap it up because I felt like the momentum was just going to be too much. But Toronto had different takes, Tony.
Yeah, I agree. It's Toronto looked very good, very poised, looked hungry. Dodgers looked. I don't know if they looked tired, but they just didn't hit the ball, and that's unusual for the Dodgers. Only 6 hits on the night. Cavilla couldn't get anything going. I don't know. I mean, some people are going to say, "Well, the Dodgers are in trouble." I don't know that I feel that way. I'm not going to say definitely don't think Toronto's in trouble either. It's a best 2 out of 3 now, and some people say you got to favor Toronto since 2 out of 3s at home. But I mean, the way these two teams have played, it's anybody's series. Toronto's going to fight to the bitter end, so it should be a great World Series. Tonight, you got started for Toronto's going to start Trey Yesevich, and the Dodgers are going to go with Blake Snell. Both those pitchers pitched game 1, and I think Yesevich gave up 3 or 4 runs in that game, but they got to Snell pretty good, and that's the game where Toronto went crazy, and I think they ended up beating them like 11-4 or 12-4, 13-4, whatever it was. So, I mean, Snell wasn't what they did with Snell didn't have his best stuff. Not that he didn't have decent stuff, but he didn't have his best stuff. And Toronto really worked the count. They made him throw a lot of pitches. They fouled a lot of balls off. They watched a lot of pitches. And I think if you do that to Snell, you can get him in trouble, especially if he don't have his number one stuff. And he didn't that night. So a lot of pressure on both teams. But Jay, would you say that I think right now, since this is the last game at home for the Dodgers, more pressure is on them? Because if they go back to Toronto down 3-2, Toronto's got 2 chances at home to close it out. So I would say that a little bit more pressure on the Dodgers right now. What do you think?
Yeah, a couple of things come to mind about this. Number one, yes, there's absolutely a lot of pressure on the Dodgers. The last thing they need to do is go down 3-2 to Toronto and give Toronto 2 times to get the win in their stadium. So, and the interesting about this, Tony, was, and I know you saw this, they had put out a quote prior to last night's game, and they had said, we're not pitching to Ohtani. Not going to do it. Made the mistake. Not going to pitch to him. Going to put him on base. Well, that lasted maybe about as long as what it took them to say it, because when you look at the game, they absolutely pitched to Ohtani. Yep. And I got to tell you, man, I've everybody's human, and everybody has a human moment. And this was the human moment for Ohtani, because this whole game did not look anywhere as reminiscent of him. If you look at the hitting, struck out twice, got a walk, right? But really nothing productive on the offensive side. And then you go and he's like, okay, well, he's a two-way guy, Jay. Two-way guy. How'd the other side look? Well, the other side looked just about as worse as the first side looked. So statistically, it was terrible. He did go 6 innings. He did give up 6 hits, but he gave up 4 runs, and they were earned runs. It wasn't some haphazard whatever. They got legitimately 4 runs on that guy, a walk. He did get 6 strikeouts. He did give up a home run, and I believe it was to Guerrero, I think. Am I right on that? I believe, Tony, I think it was Guerrero that got the homer on him. I might be wrong on that.
I think you're right.
But I think it was Guerrero. But anyway, so his ERA, that ballooned it up to about 3.50. But when you look at it, he gave up 4 runs. He didn't generate anything on offense. This is very, very not like Ohtani. So he can't have another game like this. Especially, you got to imagine he's going to be in the DH spot for the next 3 games, right? Yep. And they may even bring him back in Toronto if there's an opportunity for them to get a win. And they're out of players. I wouldn't be surprised if you saw an inning from Ohtani or one of the starters. I think once you get to those last 2 games, it's pretty much all hands on deck to get that win. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see him pitch one more time before the end of the series, in a bullpen type role.
Could be,
but uncharacteristic. So that's going to be one of the things I would look for tonight in this game is how does Ohtani bounce back from a lackluster last night to tonight? And like you said, Snell's on the mound, Yasevich is on the mound. Yasevich is hittable, and then if Ohtani's going to bounce back, this is a good game for him to bounce back on tonight and try to get that pressure off of LA. And then again, these are the moments when people talk about iconic players. These are the kinds of moments where if you want to be remembered as an iconic player, these are the games where it matters. And Ohtani has done so far this season a pretty good job of that. Him and Yamamoto have done great. On that. So we'll see what happens. We'll see how much more Ohtani can add on to his legacy after the rest of these couple of games goes on.
Yeah, it should be interesting. I wonder how people will feel. Let's say Toronto goes on and wins the series.
Yeah.
And and Dodgers won it last year, but you added a lot to this team from last year. And you don't win the World Series this year, even after adding Ohtani. If that happens, are they going to consider this season a failure?
In their minds, in that organization, if I would think that they would. I can't imagine anybody would. I feel like when it's so insurmountable that the people's opinion of you are so insurmountable that you're the team that's supposed to win, and anything less than that is a failure. That's exactly the way the Dodgers have painted themselves into that corner. You know what I'm saying? When you go out and you get all the superstar free agents, let's be honest, if you look at the LA Dodgers compared to every other team in baseball, they look like a damn all-star team. They don't even look like a regular baseball team. They look like a damn all-star team. They got all-stars at damn near every position. So if you got all-stars at every position, yeah, if you don't win the World Series, that is a failure. How is that not a failure?
Yeah.
How is that not a failure? And again, that's just one side of that part of the coin. The other side is you spent billions and billions in deferred money. So all of what you're doing right now, you better get everything you can out of it, because that deferment's coming at some point. And they're going to look back on this and be like, was spending the billions of dollars on 3 players worth it for what we got in the end? So, and that's why I think you asked me if this is a failure, how they're going to look at it. Yes, they're going to look at it as a failure, because when the dollars and cents don't add up for what you got out of it, how is that not a failure?
Yeah, I agree with you, Jay. And I kind of look at it like this too. A team like the Mets, team like the Yankees, or any of the teams, Boston, that spend, the $250 and $300 million a year, and compared to some teams that don't spend half that, I think they have to consider if you don't make it to the World Series and win it, a failure. I mean, if you're spending that kind of money on players, and you don't win it, I think you have to consider it a failure. I mean, that's just my opinion. I'm not trying to put anybody's team down. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, if my Cincinnati Reds come out next year and spend $350 million, and we don't win a World Series, I'd consider that a failure.
I would tell you that everybody, including Major League Baseball, primarily, I think Major League Baseball looks at a few franchises a different way than they look at other franchises. I think Yankees are one of them. Dodgers are one of them. I would probably put you could probably put Red Sox as one of them, and so forth. Those types of franchises that are iconic to the league. They, when people talk about World Series, like, who's in the World Series? Well, I damn sure don't want to see Dodgers in Seattle. I don't want to see Dodgers in Toronto. I want to see Dodgers and the Yankees. Or I want to see Dodgers and the Red Sox. Everybody has their idea of what they want to see.
Yeah.
So I think when the Dodgers don't win the World Series and a team like Toronto, the small market type team, wins the World Series, I think Major League Baseball is like, okay, whatever. Yeah. But they're disappointed, because I think Major League Baseball is behind the Dodgers, behind those types of things, because those are the ones that drive in the revenue.
Yeah, that's true.
But yeah, man, if I'm a Dodgers fan, I'm like, we just spent all this money, and you gotta imagine how long is the window for this Dodgers team? Betts is probably in his 30s. I think Ohtani's close to his 30s, right? I don't think. He pitched in Japan forever before he even got to the U.S. So I think Ohtani's probably in his 30s. Blake Snell's damn near in his. I mean, a lot of this team is old. I mean, it's an older, mature team.
Well, I think Ohtani's a different situation, but since he's a designated hitter, and since he's not an everyday player where he's out in the field and he only pitching every 4 or 5 days or whatever, he could probably play another 7 or 8 years if he wanted to. So Ohtani, I think I look at a little bit different than some of them, since he's not an everyday player. He's just hitting. And that's something was happening, he gets some more injuries. And that can always happen, because he does like to steal bases. I mean, you can get a leg injury, you can get an arm injury being a pitcher if he got Tommy John again. I mean, so there's definitely some, injuries could play a part in that. But if he stays healthy, I could see him playing another 8 years easy.
Ohtani is so valuable because he does both ends of the equation well. I mean, he's elite. Yeah. He's an elite hitter. He's an elite pitcher, right? Yeah. Even though his ERA right now is at 3.50, I don't think that's indicative to who he really is. I thought that it could still be lingering effects even from him coming off that Tommy John. I mean, and trying to get back into things. I don't know all of that, but what I do know is, but my question for Ohtani is how long can he compete at that elite level? How long can he be the Ohtani before Father Time catches up to him and he starts to slide down a little bit, and that's what I mean by that window close. I think he definitely can go 7 or 8 more years in the league, especially as a DH, right? I just don't know how long he's got in the league as a pitcher, as an elite pitcher.
Yeah.
Well, so, there's variables in there, right? I give this Dodgers 3 to 4 years. I think their window is probably 3 to 4 years. With the current group that they have.
Yeah. Yeah, I can see what you're saying. And one thing that will help Otani, at least right now, they're not expecting him to be a number one or even a number two pitcher. He's a number three or number four on that staff because of what they've
Yeah,
got. So
right.
he's not under pressure to be, hey, you're our number one ace, because he's not that right now. So that helps a little bit. Um, but yeah, man, I'm excited to watch tonight's game, and I'll be rooting for Toronto. I'm not going to hold back. I don't want the Dodgers to win, but if they win it, they win it. I won't yell and scream about it, but I am going to root for Toronto, and that's hard because I'm a National League guy. But I'll root for Toronto.
I always told myself I would never root for a team that was outside the United States, period. I would never do it. Never do it. It goes against my patriotic values. But I got to tell you, and I never thought a person could affect me like this. But Jonathan Mathis, you actually turned me so bad that I'm gonna go against my internal being and go for a Canadian team against our U.S. team. That's how irritated I am for the whole year of craziness on Facebook. So I'm just saying, I never thought that would happen. Tony, I never thought that would happen. I never think anything like that, but it has. Joe, I know you're out there. You know it has.
Well, we'll see what happens with that, and we'll have more on the World Series tomorrow. But let's switch over to NFL. And the first thing I want to bring up about the NFL was a re-signing. NFL Detroit Lions, Aiden Hutchinson signed a 4-year extension worth $180 million and $141 million guaranteed. Very big contract. Jay, your thoughts on that?
Yeah, and he just came off that injury list. You know, I mean, what are we? I guess we're 8 weeks in now, going into 9. Are we 8 or 9 weeks in, Tony? Where are we at?
Getting ready to start week 8. Week 8. I think we're on week 8. I don't think it's 9. I think it's week 8 because the Colts are 6-1. So yeah, we're getting ready to have week 8 this week.
All right, so just even with that in mind, 8 weeks, 9 weeks. It didn't really. This is week. Okay, Dustin said week 9. Okay, so we got week 9 into it. My thing is, okay, so week 9 into it, Aiden Hutchinson, has done it well. He hasn't had an injury, so he's 9 weeks removed from that injury list. And I don't know what I'm trying to math that 4 years into 180 million, right? So that's what 4 into 18 goes what 6, 5, 4,
45,
4, 16. Yeah, so it's like that's over $40 million a year, right? So wow, and the fact that he got 141 million guaranteed, that makes him the largest non-quarterback guarantee on record. Yep. That's crazy. That is crazy. Yeah, Dustin says teams have had their bye week already. Minnesota's 3-4 and had their bye week. Okay. Well, regardless, I mean 8 or 9. That the point is we're definitely a good part into the season now where. The fact that he's healthy, because that was always a big thing for me with Aiden is he going to stay healthy? And he's done a good job with that. And so I think it's a worthy extension. He's an elite type guy, he's an elite pass rusher. Wow, the 141 million guaranteed for a guy who's not even a quarterback. Crazy. It's crazy. I mean, I tell you what, I'd give anything and everything for Aiden Hutchinson or Myles Garrett or whoever. I got 2 draft picks out there. Who wants them? Let's go. Damn it. Yeah. That's the one thing the Cowboys desperately need is a good pass rusher, and it's good to see him get rewarded. But again, Tony, it goes back to my conversation yesterday, man. It's crazy money, man, crazy money.
Yep, most definitely. I think you had another before. We was going to talk about some NFL top players from week 8, but I think you had one other NFL story you'd mentioned.
Yeah, I think it was. Man, Scottaboo had an open fracture and ligament got fixed. Open fracture. That sounds a lot more than just an ankle, a dislocated ankle, though.
Yeah.
Man, you might see Scottaboo at some point next year. I mean, I don't know how long that's going to take to fully heal up, but that sounds like Sounds pretty damn serious to me, honestly. I didn't think it was that bad. I didn't know it was sticking out of his leg. Wow.
Yeah, it was nasty. It was nasty.
I cannot for the life of me. I guess I should have wrote that idea down. Oh, Lewis, that's what it was. Hey, and we talked about it a little bit on Coast to Coast. I think that guy might even brought that out, but that's how I remember it. But so we were talking about Denver. Obviously, Denver's at the top of their division. They're doing quite well, right?
Yep.
And they're looking for tight end help, so they brought in Mercedes Lewis, 41-year-old Mercedes Lewis, and I'm thinking and I know you said it. What about Graham? That tight end Graham that played for New Orleans and Seattle. I probably would have. I don't think he's even in the league right now. I would have gone to him first. Maybe they did. Maybe he just didn't want to do it. Maybe Mercedes only wanted. But you would think, though, Tony. I think you even said it that there should be somebody out there that has just not made it onto a team that would be younger and more athletic than what Mercedes would be at 41.
But like you said, also though, he knows. He's played a lot in the league. He knows schemes. He knows blocking schemes, things like that. So I don't think they're looking at him necessarily to be a big offensive threat. I think it's just to add some depth and maybe help in blocking. That would be my opinion.
Yeah, and Justin, I agree with you. Scatterbo there's something not right in that brain of his, because you're right. That dude literally, if he had his way, he would chop that foot off and get back on the field, which I like guys like that. I do. I love the passion. I love the motor. But I feel like Scatterbo is one of those kind of guys that you got to rescue him from himself. And Justin says Lewis is a blocking tight end, which is what the Broncos wanted for their running game. Denver is in active talks with the Vikings for tight end TJ Hawkinson. Okay. I mean, if, again, 41 years old and you're trying to go out there and you've been on the shelf for a little bit and you want to be a blocker tight end, I mean, you're going to take them hits. I don't know. Tony, I'm not Nostradamus. I'm not Jesus. I don't have a fortune teller, but that just screams injury before the end of the season.
That could be. But it depends on how many downs he's going to play. Like I said, if it's just going to be on blocking schemes for running, he may not be, he's not going to be necessarily an every down guy. So I think it's more depth. I mean, yeah, I think he's definitely going to be that blocker to help the running game. But I think it's to add depth to the team. And like I say, they want to be a running team first. Even though, I know that the quarterback had a pretty good game this last game, and he can throw pretty well. I still believe their scheme is, hey, run first and set up the pass. So they
paid the vet minimum to bring Uncle Drew back and put him on a tight end. Okay, I get it, man. Where's Lisa Leslie? Where's her character in all this? I'll get to you. But anyway, I thought that was interesting. That's what I wanted to bring up.
Okay, let's talk about a few top NFL players. I'm going to touch on a few, and then if you have one, or Jay, that's somebody you want to bring up. My first one I got down is quarterback Jordan Love, who had 360 yards of passing. He had 3 touchdowns. Also, C.J. Stroud, somebody we haven't mentioned a lot this year. He had 318 yards passing and 2 touchdowns, and a big win for Houston. Patrick Mahomes had 299 yards passing and 3 TDs. Let's go with the running backs. Guy that's on one of my fantasy teams had a big day. James Cook, 216 yards rushing and 2 TDs. Big day for him. Jonathan Taylor had 153 yards rushing and 2 TDs, maybe 3, because I think he may have had a receiving one too. Saquon Barkley had 150 yards rushing, the biggest game he's had this year, and had a touchdown. Also, tight end Tucker Kraft, who's had a great year so far, 143 yards receiving and 2 touchdowns. And then I got a couple of defensive players I wanted to mention. Quan Martin, safety, had 10 solo tackles and 4 assisted tackles for 14 total. And then we had linebacker Robert Spillane. He's from New England. He had 5 solo tackles, 9 assisted for a total of 14. So that's some of just the players of this past week that had big weeks I wanted to shout out to. And was there anybody that stood out to you on that list that you want to talk about, or is there anybody else that I didn't mention, Jay?
Well, first off, there are two guys in there specifically. I wanted to go back to James Cook. I drafted him. Was it last year? I think I had him on my squad last year. I was like, it was his rookie season. That might have even been the year before last. But anyway, I had him in his rookie year, and I knew James Cook. This guy was averaging really like 5 yards even as a backup, when he would come out, he would give you, 4 to 5 yards a carry. I mean, I knew this guy was going to be really, really good. Obviously, his brother's Dalvin Cook. So you knew that Cook family, they're good runners in that family. So he came from a good pedigree. But again, 40, he had 216 yards rushing and 2 touchdowns. I mean, that's just stupid.
Yep.
That's just stupid. I think it says Dalvin. Let's see. What did he go on to say? Panthers rushing 216 and 2 touchdowns. He and his brother Dalvin became the only pair of brothers in NFL history with 200-yard rushing games. That's the stat I was looking for. I mean, that's crazy. When you and your brother both have 200-yard rushing games, you just know that family was built to run. I mean, literally built to run. So I thought that was pretty cool that he could join his brother and make history like that. I think that was pretty notable. The other one is just somebody that I love as a tight end. I watch him play, and the way that he plays the game, he has a fire in him that's incredible, a passion in him that's incredible. Is Tucker Kraft. I mean, like you said, the guy put up 143 yards, 2 touchdowns on 7 catches. But what I like about Tucker Kraft is that dude can hit. Them yards after the catch is stupid. Yards after the catch, and that's what I like about Tucker Kraft. He was like a Gronk, a Kelsey, a Witten, those types of tight ends. I mean, that's just incredible. The way they could hit after the catch is ridiculous. So those were my 2 biggest guys that I took away, Tony. And I hate Green Bay, but I do admire Tucker Kraft's gameplay.
Yeah, I think it was important a game for C.J. Stroud. He needed this. We'll see if this will turn his season, back around and get to playing well because he hasn't played well, not great last season and hadn't played real well this season. But the whole team hadn't played well; it hadn't just been him. But we'll see. Like I said the other day, but Houston does have not an easy schedule coming up, so we'll see how that pans out. The other one's Jonathan Taylor, but I'll tell you what, Jay, if you watch his runs and stuff, he's doing great after breaking tackles and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But man, his offensive line, if that offensive line continues to open holes like they're opening for him right now, Taylor could have a record-breaking season. I mean,
absolutely. I mean, look, the guy's got the talent.
Yeah,
he really did. All he needed was a quarterback that could get the ball to the receivers, so it would open up the damn game, so they're not focusing on his butt.
Yeah,
and I think that's what you're seeing. I mean, yes, granted, the offensive line is doing a great job. But the fact that you got somebody now that they have to now not only focus on the run, but now they got a guy like Tyler Warren who's killing it at that spot, and then you got the Pittman and doing their job in the line, and then now that everything opens up for Jonathan. Now Jonathan has some breathing room, and the guy can actually navigate. So that's a big thing. That is a big thing. There's one other guy I wanted to talk about super quick on the defensive side was Myles Garrett. I think he set a NFL record for a game as well as a franchise record, I think, when he had the 5 sacks. I mean, that's incredible. 5 sacks? I mean, that's domination. That's great domination.
He's fantastic. Threw a little bit of fit on the sideline because his team's not very good. Hey, you knew what you signed up for when you took that big contract, so I don't want to hear the crying. But he is a great player. But I did hear, and I can't remember his name. He was on ESPN, I believe, and he was really hammering Cleveland and the young quarterback for Cleveland that no way he's an NFL quarterback. I think that's very unfair. I know the guy wants Shadur to play, and look, that's fine. I mean, he wants to see Shadur get a chance. That's fine. I don't know how you can say that this quarterback for Cleveland is not a NFL quarterback after 3 games. I don't think that's fair. I mean, if Shadur played those 3 games and played like he did, played the same with that, and people came out and said that he's not an NFL quarterback, people would be give whoever. I don't care if it's Shadur, I don't care who it is, give him more than 3 games. And also remember, you're playing for the Cleveland Browns, who don't have a lot of offensive weapons. Got a little bit better once they got Judkins in the lineup because he can run the football a little bit. They do have a good defense, but of course the defense gets wore out when your offense can't move the ball. But whoever the quarterback is, I don't care if it's Gabriel or Shadur, give him a fair chance. Hopefully, if Shadur does get a chance at some point this season or next season or wherever he goes, if he don't stay with Cleveland, that they give him a fair chance. And I just like to see Gabriel get the fair chance. And I really didn't know who Gabriel was. I had heard of him. I didn't follow his career in college. I'm just saying, give him more than 3 games before you throw the guy under the bus.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. Correct me if I'm wrong. I know Stat Guy's in here, and yes, Joe Dustin is Stat Guy. So Stat Guy, correct me. Oh, by the way, he did give me a correction. I apologize. I actually had the wrong record down. You're right. Derek Thomas has it for the NFL at 7. He has it for the franchise at 5.
Okay.
But he did the one record though that he did break, and this is where I had it combobulated. So I apologize. He broke Reggie White's record for the most sacks before the age of 30. Okay. So that's where he's at right now. So that was a record he broke. So I apologize for the wrong record. But again, 5 sacks, that's incredible. But going back to the Dylan Gabriel, and correct me if I'm that guy, I believe he coached at or played at Oregon. If I'm not mistaken, I believe he was, I might be wrong on that, but I think it was Oregon that Dylan Gabriel came from. But I might be wrong on that. But either way, you got to give Dylan Gabriel a chance, man. It's only a couple of games. I mean, that organization as a whole is a mess.
Yes.
The organization is a mess. So it's rightfully so that he's going to be somewhat of a mess because leadership is a mess. So I would say, you got to give Dylan Gabriel a little bit of leeway there because there's a lot of things they got to square away over there. And that's just one of them. I feel bad for him, for both him and Shedeur. I mean, if it's a rookie quarterback, you're going to put me in with another high-class rookie quarterback, and then I got to compete, and then I got all this. It just, the Browns are just doing Browns-like things. See, I think Dylan or Shedeur both would do much better, I think, leaving that franchise and finding different homes. If I was their agent, I would definitely be pushing for that. I don't think Cleveland has the answer. I think that organization is in complete disarray, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that. I think I wouldn't be shocked. I don't think anybody would, and I'm not saying
and then went to Oregon. Okay. I knew we had Oregon. Okay,
I wouldn't be shocked to see if they get a top 3 pick in the draft that they take a quarterback again.
Yeah,
if Cleveland did, I wouldn't be shocked at all. Would not surprise me. Frankie, how's it going, man?
What's going on, gents? What's going on?
Tell us, man. Me and Tony were just talking about Dylan Gabriel being just getting kind of the short end of the stick in Cleveland. Do you think he's getting the short end, or do you think they're giving him a legit, honest chance over there?
I mean, he just got blown out by my squad. You getting blown out and you still having him played. I don't know. I mean, if he wasn't the answer for Cleveland, I mean, they would have probably went with the backup. Which, realistically, who is it? Because I heard that Shedeur Sanders was inactive before the game had started. So I don't even know who the backup is. So I don't know if, like what Tony just said, when I came in here, all I heard was I wouldn't be surprised if they go for a quarterback. And I wouldn't be surprised if they go for a quarterback as well. I mean, Dylan Gabriel could be your starter next year, but who wouldn't say that backup that you get in the draft next year would be that answer to that quarterback position? I don't know. He's still a rookie. He's still learning.
Yeah, that's what. See, I seen a guy on, I believe it was ESPN, just hammering Gabriel. Said you can tell already he's not an NFL quarterback. He's no good at all. I just don't think that's fair. I mean, give the guy a chance. He's played maybe 3 games, and I feel the same way if it was Shedeur. I mean, if it was him, I'd feel the same way. You got to give him an opportunity to succeed. And plus, you got to remember, you're not on a very good team offensively. Yeah, a good defensive team, yes, but not a very good team offensively. So I don't know very many people that are going to be in that situation that would be successful. I mean, how successful do you think? Okay, let's take New England's quarterback and put him on that Cleveland team. Yeah, do I think he'd be more successful than Gabriel? Yeah, because he's more experienced. But do I think Cleveland would be where New England is right now? No. Even though with a great defense, I just don't think they have the offensive weapons. New England's a lot better team than Cleveland. So, I mean, you got to give the quarterback a chance.
Right.
I was gonna say, I think it's more the fact, and let's go back to the offseason, right, where Myles Garrett was literally fighting for a big money contract before or after he decided that he wanted to get a trade, knowing that Cleveland wasn't going to trade him, and then they gave him the big money contract, and now he's still pissing and moaning, crying and bitching because Cleveland ain't doing anything. Well, what do you expect Cleveland to do when they gave majority of their salary cap to you, to keep you happy, to keep you around? And Tony's right. Their defense is legit. Their defense is stacked. Listen, my team just played that defense, and we just gave Myles Garrett a career high 5 sacks in one game. Like Drake May, I've never seen Drake May go down 5 times like that in a game. So I mean, that's good on Myles Garrett part, but your offense is still not there. And the reason for it is because you have no money for Cleveland to spread around to help Dylan Gabriel, whoever was in the quarterback position at the time. Even Joe Flacco when he started the season. You don't have anybody to throw through. And the reason why is because Myles Garrett is a little – I don't want to curse. I'm sorry. He's a little bitch. And he wanted to cry for that money. He got that money. Now he's crying because he's got the money, and Cleveland's not successful. Well, you're not there's 11 people on that squad, defensively and offensively. Just because you get 5 sacks in one game, don't expect, look at the scoreboard and you guys are up 32 to something. No, you get the 5 sacks, your offense is still trash.
My thing is, and Frankie, I was telling him, I feel like the Cleveland Browns leadership, from the coach all the way up to general manager and all the things in between, I feel like they're just in a disarray, man. I think they're in a disarray. I think they're confused. There's no clear direction for this team, and it blows my mind, bro. It blows my mind that, and again, just take New England, for example, right? I mean, they were last place last year, right? But one thing I do know is that Robert Kraft knows how to run a team. He knows how to find the good GM. The GM knows how to find good coaches and things like that. And, again, you had a large cap. I think you spent I was kind of curious or worried that you must not spend a cap well, but you did. You did a good job with the cap. You brought the right guys in, and now you're top of your division right now. And again, I don't want to talk too much craziness on New England because you guys' schedule is about as soft as charming. But I will tell you this, Frankie, the Buffalo Bills, that's your credibility right there. The win over Buffalo in Buffalo was a huge credibility builder for your team. I'm really curious to see how you play against Buffalo once they come into New England. And if you get that double win on them, I'll be like, that's some major kudos right there for what you guys are doing. But Frankie, I'm telling you, man, I got to ask you. So we're talking football, we're talking Patriots, and me and Tony were talking about this yesterday. Since you're the Patriots guy, I'm going to get your take on what I thought was, or what I feel is, that over there, everybody talking about Brady and Belichick, who did this, who's responsible for this, that, and the other. And I swear to God, I feel like Josh McDaniels is so underrated, and that whole equation is ridiculous because I think that's the one guy that's probably the most responsible for where New England is because he's the one constant in that team, even after Brady left, developing Mac Jones, look what he's doing, Drake May. I mean, that was probably the best thing Vrabel ever did was bringing in Josh McDaniels. I don't know if you agree with any of that, but that's just how I look at it.
Jay, I 100% agree with that. I 100% agree with that. I feel like everybody on our network knows that I would agree with that statement because I've even said that Josh McDaniels is literally a running back, or I'm sorry, a quarterback guru. He really is. Yeah. He's a quarterback whisperer. He's really good. He's like Kellen Moore. I feel like a little bit better because, or not. Kellen Moore is obviously a little bit better because he's a successful head coach to where Josh McDaniels isn't a successful head coach. But as a whisperer for quarterbacks, Josh McDaniels he's a I'm not gonna say a GOAT, but he's a beast. Like you said, rookie year with Mac Jones got us to the playoffs, got us a 10-6 record. That was 2 years after Tom Brady left and went to Tampa Bay.
Right.
Then Josh McDaniels leave, and we go on like a four season strip of just like 5 or less wins. We literally just had 2 seasons back to back with 4 wins. And now we're at 6 wins with Josh McDaniels back at offensive coordinator and making Drake May look good. And I've been saying this since last year, since we drafted Drake May and he started playing in week 4 all the way to the end. I said, wait until next year where we get actual, good people. We get people around him. We get an offensive line. We get the right coaching. And it was smart. And then Robert Kraft is a smart guy. He really is. I'm not going to say Elliot Wolf is a smart guy. He's our GM. I'm not going to say he's a smart guy. I feel like he's more of a yes man to Mike Vrabel, not to Robert Kraft, but to Mike Vrabel. But that was the one thing Robert Kraft was smart in doing, was getting rid of Gerard Mayo and bringing in Mike Vrabel to be the head coach. Because You give Mike Vrabel, a guy who literally just had Tennessee at the AFC Championship not so long ago, come in and like you're giving him a top 4 draft pick. You're giving him the highest cap in NFL of this offseason. The man he made splashes. He really did. Yeah. And not to mind you, I want to put this out there. We just traded Kyle Duggar to the Steelers for a 6th rounder, and we just traded Keon White to the 49ers for another 6th rounder. Mike Vrabel just locked up a total right now for the next year's draft. We have 10 total draft picks within the first 6 rounds. That's
crazy. That's and I told Tony this too, man. And I hate the Patriots. I hate the Yankees. I do love Frankie. That's the only thing I love. But everything else about that man, I hate. Man, that's the point. That's besides the point. But no, I mean, what that team has done, you got to put respect on it, man. You got to put respect. And I told him, Frankie, I said, give this team 3 years under Vrabel and McDaniels. Give them 3 years, and I have a feeling they can make it back into the Super Bowl. I think that's realistic.
Yeah, I'm not a person that I sees the success on my team this year, and I agree with what you said earlier, Jay. The schedule is dog water, But as a Patriot fan, I'm gonna take it. I haven't seen my team. I haven't seen my team 6-2 since Tom Brady. And listen, we're not the ones making the schedules. We were fans. Nope. That's the NFL making the schedules for us being shit last year. So you know what? Yep. I'm gonna take it this year. I'm gonna wait till next year to see how tough the schedule is gonna be with Drake May at the helm. We're still in a rebuild mode with a 6-2 record. And Jay's right. Look, in the next 3 years, we could possibly see Drake May in the Super Bowl. And I looked at my boy the other day when we played Cleveland on Sunday. He was here. He was watching the Eagles dominate the Giants. Obviously, it was an absolute amazing scene to see his face, especially with Cam Scatterable going down. He was so sad, and I know the pain. All you Giant fans, I feel like every single one of us here, Tony, Jay, and myself, we know the feeling of when a top star player on your team goes down on an injury like that. I dealt with Tom Brady. Tony had, Peyton Manning and Austin, Luck, Andrew Luck. And then you had Jay. Jay had so many injuries to his Cowboys career. I mean, we've dealt with this, so it's painful.
Hey, let's be honest. Tony did with the hardest one though. When Tyrese Halliburton went down,
Game 7.
He went down.
That was rough.
It's real tough. But I did tell him. I said, because of how good we look right now, how Kansas City is, kind of slowly turning the wheel to where, their dynasty was built just recently. They're looking good having Rashee Rice back and everything like that. Hell, even Travis Kelce got me 99 yards. 99 yards. We haven't seen Travis Kelce get 99 yards in 4 years.
I said the same thing the other day to Tony. I told that same thing.
I was like, what the heck? It wasn't even National Tight Ends Day. National Tight Ends Day was on a Sunday. He played on a Monday, and he get 99 yards. That's insane to me. I loved it. Right. I accepted it.
Right there, Frankie. We got to move this show along a little bit, Killer. Tony.
Right. Okay. But we beat Buffalo. We could beat Buffalo again. And if that happens, I wouldn't be surprised if, the Patriots do somehow. I'm not going to say we win the Super Bowl, but don't be surprised if the Patriots somehow, some way get close to it. Just saying.
Yeah, I think they got a good chance to win that division. So we'll see how it goes. Well, guys, let's move on to some NBA. I've got a few. We can definitely touch on Houston, the Pacers, and the Lakers a little bit. But I've got a couple other teams first. Philadelphia. I know that it's very early. I think they're 4 or 5-0. But Maxey, man, has just been fantastic so far this year, averaging over 30 points a game. And Embiid's coming along. Had his best game so far this year. I think he had 22, 23, 24 points, but only played 23 minutes. And they're bringing him along slowly. What do you guys think about the Sixers, man? I mean, I know it's really early, and you never know what's going to happen. Can Embiid stay healthy? That's a big question. I think it's smart limiting his minutes. I would rather see him limit his minutes every game till maybe to 2/3 way through the season, even more than taking games off. That's just my opinion. But Jay, what are you thinking about the 76ers so far?
Well, I'll tell you, this is the first time that I think in what do I think about him? Oh man, it's funny to hear Pags, Philly sports guy, talk about the Sixers because that dude hated the Sixers. If you'd asked him before this season started, how he thought about the Sixers, he'd tell you that he hates the organization. He hates the way they're running things. He hates the way they're doing things. But now that they're winning, and Tony, I said this, when you start winning, people change their attitudes about you super quick, and they come back to the fold super quick. That's exactly what Pags did. Pags is all Philly, 76ers now. Winning cures a lot of things.
Kind of like you with the Astros.
Man, what? What you say?
I said
I see you trying to slip something in. What were we saying? What about the Astros?
Kind of like you with the Astros.
Oh, I always love my Astros. I may be pissed off at them, but I love them. You can't help injuries, Frankie. You can't help injury. You can't help that. I mean, I asked Bo. He's the Seattle Mariners guy. I asked him. I said, "Look, man, you're Mariners. Do you think the Mariners, who if they had 17 injuries from start to finish, could do what the Astros did and still be in the rank? I don't think they could. I don't think that team is built like that. So it is what it is. But anyway, that we get sidetracked. We'll do that more. But no, what do I think about the Sixers? I think it's great. I think they're doing exactly what they're supposed to be doing with Embiid. That's exactly what I would do with Embiid. I mean, that dude is about as soft as the New England football schedule. Literally, it's soft. It's soft. You bring on that dude, he's tweaking. So I think you have to bring him along slowly. You can't put that man out there. I think it's a problem. They've been putting him out there and not graduating into the minutes. And I think that's probably what happened to him. The body never fully healed, but they're using him like the body fully healed. And his body, I don't think his body has ever truly gotten to 100%. And this goes back years. I think he's been dealing with injuries the entire damn time. So they should take him slow. 23 minutes. That's probably ideal.
Yeah, I'll say since he won MVP. Since he won MVP, he has not been the same.
Yeah, I would agree with that. And he was hurt a lot even before the MVP.
Yeah.
Frank, what are you thinking about the 76ers so far?
I'll be real with you, Tony. I get two shits about the 76ers. Listen, because I'm gonna be real. I'm gonna be totally honest. Like, we've seen this a lot of times. Like last year, I get it. Last year was last year. Joel Embiid basically didn't play the whole year because he decided to be hurt the year prior, but then wasn't hurt for the Summer Olympics, and then comes out and whatever. Paul George gets that contract, wants to care about podcasting. January comes around. Oh, I'm not focused on podcasting no more. I'm gonna focus on basketball. You should be focused on basketball when basketball starts, not in January when the freaking All-Star break is about to come around. Then you get hurt. So much for focusing on basketball when you get hurt because you're so focused on podcasting. And then it was downhill from there. This year you see a totally different thing because you have those young guys that are stepping up that want to be there and play ball. And because you have two stars of Joel Embiid and Paul George, these guys don't get much time on the court. Now we're seeing them so much time on the court. Look what they are. They're 4-0 right now, right? Okay, yep. Cool. When the playoffs come around, we all know what's going to happen. Okay, we all know what's going to happen. They might win one series, but that's it. That's it. It's a typical Philadelphia 76ers thing, right? So I'm going to be honest with you, Tony. I could give two shits about Philadelphia right now because, like I said, they're going to have a good season. They're going to get to the playoffs. Philadelphia is going to, Philadelphia 76er fans are going to be hyped. Pags is going to be super excited. And then they're just going to come out and, Pags with his normal end of the year video tribute, right? Where he just goes, well, the season's over, man. We almost had it, but there's always next year. Philadelphia 76ers. Yeah. All his stupid whatever. Listen, that's what's going to happen. They're going to have a good year, Tony. Playoffs come around. They're going to make the playoffs, and then they're going to lose. And you know who they're going to lose to? The New York Knicks. That's who they're going to lose to.
Okay, I can see that. The other team I had to, again, I want to talk about our teams, the Lakers and the Pacers and Houston. But before we do that, the San Antonio Spurs looking pretty good so far. Wembanyama, man, looking fantastic. Dude's averaging almost 5 blocks a game. He's scoring. He's getting assists. Definitely, to me, looks like a future MVP. I'm not going to say that right now. I got people coming out on TV saying he's already the face of the league. Just calm down just a little bit. I think he will be maybe the face of the league. I don't know that you can say that already, but they're looking good. I mean, they're looking good so far. Again, very early in the season. Frankie, your thoughts on San Antonio?
Yeah, I like Victor Wembanyama. I like the San Antonio Spurs and how they're looking right now. But realistically, how can you stop a man that's like 7'6"? Like literally, his head is like at the rim. I don't understand how you could stop that. That's really hard to stop. Even Anthony Davis couldn't stop him. And Anthony Davis, you barely see Anthony Davis have trouble with centers. He couldn't stop Victor Wembanyama in game one of the start of the season. So I mean, I could definitely see Victor Wembanyama being an MVP candidate. As a face of the NBA, I think that's a little too much, Tony. I agree with you. Like they're going too far on that one because they're overlooking SGA. I feel like SGA is the next face of the NBA.
I do too.
But when you're 7'6", you can't stop that. You can't do anything. It's impossible. That's like Shaq trying to go out there and block Yao Ming. That was impossible for Shaq to do. And Shaq, literally, Yao Ming is the only person in the world, to me, I feel like, that makes Shaq look like a midget. Like, that's crazy. So, I mean, you can't stop Victor Wembanyama. It's impossible. How the hell you stop Victor Wembanyama? Yeah, he was 7'3" last year. Now he's 7'6" or whatever, 7'5". How you grow 2 inches taller? That makes no sense. That's confusing. By next year, he's going to be 8 foot. I don't know. I mean, San Antonio looks good. You look good when you have a 7'6" dude on your team, I guess. That's what happens.
Jay, what are you thinking?
I think even though you're 7'6", it doesn't mean it's not going to guarantee you anything, because look at all the other guys out there that are 7 foot or better that haven't been able to do like what Shaq and them have been able to do. I mean, Manute Bol probably comes to the top of my list right off the head of my head. And then I look at the guy over there. Now he does need a lot of development, so I'm gonna give him some leeway on that one. But the guy that was a Portland brought in, that Yang or Hansen Yang or whatever his name is, that Chinese kid that got drafted this year. So, I mean, and he hasn't really done too much over there. I mean, there's a lot of 7-footers that haven't done a lot in the league. That one guy, Markanian, however you say a guy's name, the one with the big ears, does great commercials. But he played for Dallas for a while and played for Houston for a while. Now he's out of the league. I mean, and he was a big dude. He was like 7'6", whatever. But you got to have talent to back up the height too. And I think that's where a lot of them lack.
Yeah.
And I think Wembanyama gets such whatever because, you know, he hasn't been in the league all that long, but what he did previously over there in France or whatever, all those numbers he's put up. And then, of course, he has put up a lot of good numbers since he's been here. You know, I think people are desperate to try to crown him that, but I don't know. I think the jury's out on Wembanyama. I don't like his weight. I don't like the fact that he's a beanpole. Yeah. I don't even like Holmgren, Chet Holmgren for OKC. I don't like him either. I feel like skinny guys that are there's a difference between being thin and athletic and then being bone rail ass skinny. And I feel like I could break Wembanyama if I was on the court if I really wanted to. You know what I mean? He's not a big guy in terms of size.
Yeah, and I agree with you because I mean, KD's the same.
Hold on, Frankie. Tony was talking.
No, that's fine. He's fine. He's fine.
No, I was just gonna say KD's the same way, and we've seen KD get hurt recently and so many times in so many years. I wouldn't be surprised if Victor Wembanyama, gets hurt. But let's not overlook the fact that Victor Wembanyama was landed on Greg Popovich's lap. All right, I know Greg Popovich isn't there anymore. He's obviously in the front office, still getting his say so and his mind of the basketball world and the San Antonio Spurs organization. So I mean, when you got a GOAT coach in Greg Popovich, you're gonna have some great talent in Victor Wembanyama with that height. I'm sorry, Tony. Go ahead.
Oh no, yeah, I think he's got to be careful. You don't want to put on too much weight because I think some big guys like that can't hold weight. I mean, you look at Kareem. Kareem was never huge, so I think he needs to add. I don't know if he needs to add muscle. Maybe not weight. I mean, I just don't think he can get too big because I think that'd be too much on his bones. I don't think he can handle a lot of weight. That's just my opinion. I mean,
I think you're right, and I think that's what I'm alluded to. I think right now the man is too damn skinny, and I think Chet Holmgren is too damn skinny. They've both been injured, I think, because of the fact that they don't have a lot of weight to bang around and do that kind of stuff with. I think the physique that I would like to see them both at is, you named one of them. Like, take the Olajuwon, take the Garnett, take the whoever who was the other one I'm thinking of? Tim Duncan, David Robinson. Those types of builds I think are perfect because you're not overweight, but you're healthy and you can take a little bit of punishment. And I think that's what he needs.
I think I had heard he put on 20 pounds. But again, he's so skinny, 20 pounds probably don't look like a lot. But
He needs
yeah,
20 pounds on them legs. He needs some
yeah,
muscle on them legs. I feel like if you just get a little bit of more muscle on your leg, which is weird to me because you're a basketball player. You're constantly running back and forth down the court. I don't get how you're not getting muscular on your leg. Your legs are still bony.
yeah. I think a lot of it's just because he's so damn tall. I don't know. I don't know how that feels to be that tall. I never will.
This is
Don't
why we
forget
don't
that
date. This is why.
his metabolism is probably off the chart too.
Yeah.
You know,
This
I
is
mean,
why we
me
don't.
personally, I had that dude on 3,000 calorie milkshakes 3 times a day. But
Yeah.
that's just
This is why we don't date French women.
All right, guys, let's move on to some more NBA. Frank, let's start with you. How you feeling about your Lakers so far this year, and how things are going?
I mean, we're pretty. I mean, listen, we're 4 games in. We're 2-2.
Yeah.
We're already hurt.
Yeah.
I mean, all I can do is laugh because it's the beginning of the season, so I can't care much because they're gonna come back. But like, we're already hurt. LeBron James out 3 weeks. Luka out a week. Jackson Hayes out for I don't know, who knows. Who else? Gabe Vincent out like 2-3 weeks. I mean, we're already hurt.
Yeah.
But look at Austin Reeves, right? All these guys hurt. Austin Reeves is balling.
Yeah. Yes.
He just scored 51 points in Sacramento. Talk about turning off the beam light, right? That's how to turn that shit off, Reeves. And then he come out, we lose. Then we come out, we lose the game to Portland at home. But Austin Reeves still balled out. He had like 45 points.
Yeah.
It's sad because we don't have anybody else around Austin Reeves right now to ball out, and it's a little bit tough. I'm hoping that they turn it around quickly, but it's still early in the season for me, so I'm not gonna hang my head down or whatever. It's so early in the season that my head is so far up. I'm looking to the sky in the AFC East of football. I'm not even worried about basketball right now. I'm watching my games here and there, and I'm seeing what my guys are doing. I'm seeing the stats, but I'm not worried just yet. Like I said, and I feel like Jay and Tony, you guys can agree with me. When you guys go down this early, I think it's best to go down this early rather than going down in the middle of the season towards the end of the season. So that way, you can rest. You can rest up, heal up, and then do what you got to do in the upcoming months, in the important times of basketball.
I actually prefer them to get injured at the beginning of the season. If they're going to get injured, I prefer it to be at the beginning of the season, because if it's something severe, like an ACL or MCL or whatever the case is, at least I know, okay, maybe I don't get you this year. Maybe I'm lucky. Maybe I get you at the end, but I definitely know I can at least get you back next year. A lot of these injuries, it depends on where they occur in the season. Now you're talking about going into next season, depending on the severity, which I hate that, because then you're affecting 2 seasons with one injury. I hate that.
Yeah, that's true.
I just laugh because it's funny. It's like the entire starters go down one by one injury. Like Marcus Smart, Luka Doncic, freaking Jackson Hayes, LeBron James. Who's next? Austin Reeves.
I got the answer to that.
Don't bring out your voodoo doll.
I know your pain, Frankie, because my Pacers are doing the same thing. Of course, we didn't have Halliburton, but then our other point guard, our backup point guard, I can't remember his name right now. He started the season not being able to play out at least a month. Well, then Mathern's out, and Mathern's going to be out. He's week to week. We got Obi Toppin's out for at least a month. Yeah, we the Pacers are just like the Lakers right now, man. We're hurt, and we're hurt bad, and plus, not having Halliburton to start the season. So I was wanting the Pacers to get off to a good start, and that's definitely the opposite. So I was hoping the Pacers would be able to make the playoffs. It's still early, but man, this is not the start that I was hoping for the Pacers. So
well, it's different for me with you, Tony, because you guys were just in the finals. So,
yeah.
I get it. It's more harder on you guys because you guys were just in the finals. You guys are built to probably look good enough to be back in the finals. To where me, it's like I go to the playoffs and I'm ready to shit talk people, Lakers and fire. Everybody know how that ends up.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
It's cool with me. So, I mean, with you, I know it's a little bit harder. Jay
Yeah.
is definitely going to be harder because you got KD on your team. So, I mean, with me, it's fun. It's fun with me.
All I know is, hey, this dog comes in handy. Because everybody says I've been stabbing it with the pictures of you on there, or your teammates on there. It's amazing how well they go down. I'm going to say there is power. No, it's not a power. It's just a gimmick. But I wish it was true. No, I'm just kidding.
You see, you keep having that doll around. This is why the Cowboys are never going to win. Throw that doll away already.
No. I'm getting ready to put Jerry Jones's picture on that. I'm gonna start stabbing a leg and watch him fall down as he's going down the stairs to his jet. It'd be great.
Hey, Jay, we give our thoughts on our teams. Well, how are you feeling about your Houston Rockets?
Well, we're 1-2, so I don't know what you could really do at the beginning of a season. How do I feel about it? I mean, we don't have Van Fleet, so I still feel like we're missing that leadership component at the point guard spot. Because, KD's not a leader. I think everybody knows that KD's not a leader. So, we don't have I think Amin Thompson is coming into being a leader. I think I saw that last year in the playoffs when I watched the way Amin Thompson, when he reacted to the way things were going and how he took it personal, the losses. I feel like he's a leader, and he's a vocal guy. He's not afraid to say what he thinks. But man, losing Van Fleet, you're losing experience, you're losing a good point guard, and you're losing leadership. Those are three big things to lose at that spot. So we'll see what happens. I have not been able to watch the Rockets really much because honestly, Tony, I've been watching the World Series, so I have not been watching much of it. But I know they lost to Detroit 115-111. They lost to OKC 125-124. And they did get the win against the Hawks at 133-115. So I will tell you this. The one thing I guess out of the two losses is at least they're close, right? We're not blown out. I mean, we took the defending champions. We lost by a point. So that tells me, okay, even though we don't have Van Fleet there, a 1-point game, that means it could have gone either way. Somebody was just lucky and time ran out, as you're trying to get to the finish line. So at the OKC is my benchmark for where the Rockets are. And I think we're in there, and again, we're only 3 games in, so you really can't speculate too much. Yeah. The fact that we stuck with OKC without Van Fleet and we only lost by a point, that tells me that we could have won that game. We should have maybe won that game. So I think we're doing okay. I think we're about where we should be.
That game, I'm gonna be real with you, and I'm not trying to knock you guys, but that game should have not gone into double overtime. KD called a timeout at the very last second. No timeouts. Should have got a tech. OKC should have got the free throws, and they didn't because the refs want to freaking be, KD fans. I thought I don't know, man. I don't know. How's KD look to you this year already? 3 games in, Jay.
I mean, I tell you, I don't like the 3-point aspect of it because the first game he was 0 for, and then this game against OKC he was 0 for 4. So the 3-point shooting has been terrible. But he did give you 47 minutes. He did shot 50% or better from the field, and he gave you 9 rebounds on 23. And he did foul out that game. That was against OKC. So I mean, how do I feel about Durant? I feel like Durant is not the leader, so I don't expect him to be the leader. I just need the man to make shots, and as long as you're shooting better than 50% from the field, okay, I'll handle that. And he gave you 23, and he gave you 9 boards, and I think he had 3 assists. So I mean, how do I feel about KD right now? 3 games in, I mean, he's not hurting us. He's not blowing us up. He's not hurting us. So
dog shit. Fuck KD.
I think he could have helped you guys back. Again, I think losing Van Fleet really hurt you guys at the point guard position. If you guys don't have somebody to step up at that point guard position, I think your chances for a title is going to be probably hard to get. I'm not saying you can't get there. I think of course, getting past Oklahoma is going to be a tough task. There's no doubt about that. Oklahoma looks good. They're still undefeated. Alexander looks like the MVP already, so far again. So, I mean, it's very early, though. But Thunder looking great. I mean, they won 2 back-to-back games to start the season in double overtime, beat Houston and the Pacers. So they beat up on me and Jay, had to rub it in on us. And honestly, Houston and the Pacers both should have won those games, and they didn't. So, you got to give the Thunder credit, man. They're a damn good team.
I will say this.
Shouldn't have won that game, Tony. What are you talking about? Houston should not have won that game. That should never went into overtime.
Stop it. You're just being a hater right now. Say one more thing.
Really,
one more thing, because I'll put AR-15 right on here. Say it again. I'll put AR-15 right on here. Say
Jay,
it. You'll lose AR-15 too.
Jay, be serious right now.
I will fully put AR-15 on here and stab him in the leg, both of them.
Listen, I'm saying it because you guys had no timeouts. Kevin Durant got the rebound and called the timeout.
He did.
The refs, they didn't, for some reason, didn't call that. That should have been a technical foul. You can't call a timeout when you have no timeouts. It should have been a technical foul. 2 free throws should have gone to OKC, and it would have never went into overtime. I'm not saying, you guys shouldn't have won. You guys shouldn't have gone to overtime because OKC is better. No, I'm just saying that because you guys called the timeout when you had none. So it shouldn't have gone that deep into the start of the season.
Yeah, and again, that's one thing I can't argue with you because again, I was watching the World Series game during this one, so I didn't catch that. So I'll let that be. But at the end of the day, man, I'll tell you what I do know. What I do know is Sugun put up 39 points. And what I do know is, and I'll end it with this one sentence: we still can't hit the freaking 3 ball because against OKC. No, seriously, against OKC, we went 11 of 39. Frankie, 11 of 39. That's 28% 3-point shooting. So again, you want to know how I feel about the Rockets? I feel about that like this: we still don't have a 3-point shooter, and I don't have a point guard with experience. So yeah, there's the Rockets in a nutshell. And I swear to God, I have put AR-15. You're losing AR-15 tonight, man.
Shit. If that happens, I'm gonna freak out.
If AR-15 gets hurt,
Frankie's gonna cry.
Yeah,
if I think of AR-15, Frankie's gonna cry.
If he gets hurt tonight, I'm never coming back on this show again because I'm going to talk so much shit to Jay. I'm going to blame Jay for so much.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm kidding right now. Hey, listen, if he does it, this is going to be the new ESEN logo. I'm going to write ESEN, and then I'm going to have Logan make a thumbnail of this, and it's going to be in everybody's thing. This is going to be the new ESEN logo. So I'm just saying. I call him Skippy, by the way. That's Skippy. So
you still got in trouble the last time you run that doll on the show with Logan. So you better be careful.
Man, I tell you, man, I do play with craziness. I play with too much fire. I should be quiet.
All right, guys. Let's. I don't have anything else. You guys ready to get out of here?
Yeah, let's go ahead and get out of here. Again, hey, Frankie, thank you for coming back on today. I know your life is busy with maintaining all those young children in your home. So I'm glad you were able to take some time away and hang out with us. Big Tony, man, much love. It's your boy J Mick, loving. If you like today's content, please give us a like and a share, but mostly just give us a subscribe. That's what we really want. We appreciate the subscribes that you give to Gonzo Sports Room, Elite Sports and Entertainment, on both of our YouTube channels, man. And again, Joe, much love. Stat Guy Dustin, appreciate you. And everybody else that I may have missed that commented on today's show, we appreciate you. Until next time, it's your boy Jay and Tony. We out.